actions of this mother are so outlandish and so confusing, you just can't help but ask yourself, what the hell is really going on here? On November 4th of 2022, the sheriff's office out of Blountville, Tennessee found 17-year-old Gavin Brown deceased, having been beaten, asphyxiated, as well as being attacked with a knife. While further investigation would show a 23-year-old Corey Barnett and a 21-year-old Mason Dubois to be responsible for the crime. And while Barnett was charged for the murder itself, Mason received the charge of aggravated robbery as well as accessory after the fact. And this is where things take a turn to the upside down. It is said Gavin's mother, Ashley, just recently met up with an informant in order to place a hit on the only witness to that crime. Now here's the part that makes absolutely no sense. During the course of that conversation, Ashley stated multiple times that although she was not involved in her son's passing, she just didn't want to seem guilty. So in order to distance herself from a crime she wasn't linked to, the only logical thing she could think to do was to make sure the one person who could confirm she wasn't there could not confirm she wasn't there. Yes, if you're still with me, this is in fact reality. Ashley has since been booked under one charge of soliciting first-degree murder on a $500,000 bond. Now, it's likely more information will come out in the next week or so due to the fact Ashley is scheduled to appear in court in 4 days' time.
Scary part is that's right up the road for me. I'm in Tennessee, so that's crazy, bro.
So let's talk about the most infamous unsolved criminal case in Finnish history, which is the Lake Bodom murders. So on June 5th, 1960, 4 Finnish teenagers decided to spend the night camping by the shores of Lake Bodom near Espoo, Finland. By the next morning, 3 of the teenagers would be found dead and one of them wounded but surviving. Now, it would soon be discovered that the assailant had actually attacked the teenagers through the tent from the outside while they slept, 3 of them being bludgeoned and stabbed to death. Now, the sole surviving teenager from that night suffered less extensive injuries than his friends. However, he still suffered from a broken jaw, eye socket, and several stab wounds. Now, he was able to get a glimpse of the attacker, and this is the man he described to police. Now, the sketch actually pretty closely resembled one of the main suspects in the murders. However, police have never been able to get enough concrete evidence to convict him. Now, one shocking twist in this case is that over 40 years after the original murders, the sole survivor of that night was actually arrested and charged with the murders. However, he was again acquitted of any wrongdoing with no concrete evidence proving the fact that he was responsible for it, and the case remains unsolved to this day.
Yeah, that's a crazy case right there. I don't even know what to say about that one.
These are the 5 underreported culture stories of 2022. Part 2. This first story is a little 2-for-1 action, but one of the most underreported culture stories of 2022 was the absolute grift that is Black Lives Matter. First off, BLM shut down all of their online fundraising after California threatened to hold the organization's leadership liable for lack of financial transparency. Not to mention that the founder of the Black Lives Matter Memphis chapter was sentenced to 6 years in prison this year for illegally registering to vote in Tennessee. Did you hear any of this in the mainstream media? Nope, of course not. This was bar none one of my favorite stories of the year. An Oklahoma Democratic candidate, Abby Broyles, allegedly got drunk at a Valentine's Day sleepover with a bunch of 13-year-old girls. She allegedly called one of the girls acne and another one of them judgy. It was also alleged that she vomited into a laundry basket and one of the girls' shoes. It's safe to say that she did not win the election she was running for. Journalist Chris Rufo really kickstarted the beginning of the demise of Disney when he leaked videotapes of Disney meetings where top executives said they were trying to inject queerness into kid shows. These videos also discuss Disney's not-so-secret gay agenda, and they have paid for this dearly. 2 inmates at an all-women's prison in New Jersey got pregnant this year. How, you might ask? It's an all-women's facility. Well, 2 people did the deed with a trans person who had yet to undergo gender reassignment surgery on the bottom half. And now we have some pregnant inmates. And finally, remember not that long ago when women called for a boycott of Ulta Beauty. This came after the company podcast hosted a transgender TikToker to talk about the joys of girlhood. The podcast is hosted by a gender-fluid hairstylist, and women were very upset that Ulta did not have a woman to talk about the joys of womanhood.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on out here in this world. But that Black Lives Matter thing, I ain't never really followed it, especially when I found out who it was funded by and how it was, I don't even know what to call it, but it was very Marxist.
This pedophile mom in Ohio committed one of the most horrific crimes I've ever read about. I'm going to add a trigger warning in here right now. This is a very, very disturbing story, so viewer discretion is advised. So this is Ashley Jessup from Ohio. And in 2012, she was found guilty of rape and sentenced to life in prison. But who did Ashley assault? Well, it was her own 10-month-old baby. At the time of this crime, Ashley was dating 24-year-old Jordan Russell. The two seemed to be very in love, and they frequently exchanged explicit materials over email and text message, of themselves, obviously. But then in August of 2011, Jordan asked Ashley to do something shocking. He asked her to perform explicit acts on her own 10-month-old baby son. And obviously he wanted her to film it and send it to him so he could keep these videos and images. And for some shocking reason, Ashley actually obliged. And she performed graphic and gruesome acts on her own son. So later that month, Jordan had actually broken up with Ashley and he already had a new girlfriend. And this new girlfriend of Jordan's was going through his computer when she discovered these extremely disturbing images and contacted the police. So obviously when the details of this case were made public, everybody was absolutely shocked. And the judge in this case actually stated that in his 30-year career, this was one of the most bizarre and disturbing cases he had ever had to cover. So Ashley was eventually convicted of a litany of charges, including assault, rape on a minor, everything like that. And she's still in prison to this day, serving out that life sentence.
Wow.
Now, this is a really, really disturbing story, and I really do think that she should be in prison for a very, very long time.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You never know what's behind one of those smiling faces. You never know.
I am Dorothea Puente, an American landlady in the 1980s who ran a boarding house in Sacramento, California. Behind my seemingly ordinary facade, I harbored a dark secret. I specifically targeted vulnerable and elderly tenants, taking advantage of their trust in me. With calculated intent, I would administer drugs and poison, leading to their tragic deaths. To conceal my gruesome deeds, I would bury their lifeless bodies in the backyard of my property. The truth about my heinous actions was eventually unveiled when a diligent social worker grew suspicious and alerted the authorities. The subsequent investigation unearthed a horrifying scene, laying bare the extent of my atrocities. As a result, I was convicted of multiple murders and handed a life sentence without the possibility of parole. The legacy of my heinous crimes serves as a haunting reminder of the depths to which human darkness can descend, leaving a trail of irreversible suffering in its wake.
You know what's crazy about that, though? She was already old, so that life sentence wasn't really long.
In the chilly December of 1948, a lifeless body was discovered on the serene shores of Somerton Beach in Australia. The body was a man who was dressed impeccably in a suit with polished shoes, and his head was slumped against a wall. Authorities thought the cause of death was heart failure or more likely poisoning, but no trace of poison was found in the autopsy. Curiously, the man lacked a wallet or any form of identification. Even the tags from his clothing were mysteriously absent. Fingerprints taken by the authorities yielded no identifiable matches. Despite circulating a photo of the deceased in newspapers, the enigma of his identity persisted. It wasn't until 4 months later that detectives stumbled upon a concealed pocket sewn into the inside of his trousers. Within this covert compartment lay a tightly rolled piece of paper extracted from a rare book known as the Rubaiyat. Inscribed on the paper were the words Tamam Shud, signifying it has ended. After months of looking for the exact book, authorities decide to bury the Somerton man without identification. 8 months elapsed before a man walked into the police station claiming that he had found a copy of the Rubaiyat in the rear of his car, parked near Somerton Beach shortly after the discovery of the unidentified body. This revelation occurred only after he read about the ongoing investigation in a newspaper article. Astonishingly, the book contained a portion of the final page torn in a manner that perfectly matched the scrap of paper found in the Somerton man's trousers. Intriguingly, the book harbored a phone number and a cryptic code. The traced phone number led authorities to a woman named Jessica Thompson, residing in proximity to the beach. During questioning, she proved evasive and, despite a near-fainting episode upon seeing the bust of the Somerton man, adamantly denied any knowledge of him. She did, however, admit to selling the Rubaiyat to a man named Alfred Boxall. Peculiarly, Alfred Boxall was very much alive and possessed the copy of the Rubaiyat that Jessica claimed to have sold him. The cryptic code, frustratingly uncracked to this day, added another layer of perplexity to the unfolding saga. And so, the man from Somerton Beach remains an enduring enigma, his identity shroud.
I just walked in and found a grown man molesting, and I got him in a bloody puddle for you right now, officer. attacked him viciously, and I didn't stop. The only time I paused was to go to the kitchen and retrieve a butcher knife because I was going to kill him. And my son stepped in front of me and saved his life. He just looked at me and said, "Sir," and he shook his head and said, "No." And I just put the knife down. I just wouldn't traumatize him any more than he already was.
Once again, sound like justice to me.
I blew up the whole McDonald's crew because they forgot my chicken nugget. My name is Lakeisha, and this is my story. While I was waiting in line for my 20 chicken nuggets and fries that I had ordered, I was filled with immense joy. After a long day at work, my stomach was craving for a big, delicious meal. When I looked at the display board, I saw that my order was finally ready. My mouth watered as I saw the tray of chicken and fries. Captivated by the smell of the chicken, I opened the box of chicken nuggets as soon as I sat down. I was shocked. Instead of 20, there were only 19 inside. I was furious and went to confront the employees, taking out my bazooka from my bag. The workers stood frozen and scared behind the counter, offering a free extra box with 20 chicken nuggets. Unfortunately, this couldn't make up for what had happened. They had belittled me and crushed my ego. As they watched fearfully, I aimed my bazooka at the crew. I pulled the trigger and obliterated the entire McDonald's. I quickly grabbed my 20 free chicken nuggets and fled the scene. They had gotten a taste of their own medicine. Despite the immense damage I caused, I haven't been caught to this day.
Nah, I can't believe this is real, because where in the hell did she randomly get a bazooka from? Nah, it just sounds like just a typical fat joke.
I shot and killed my husband after I found out what he was doing to little kids at the daycare I worked at. My name is Shanteri Weems, and this is my story. Me and my husband owned a daycare called Kids Castle Child Development Center. I love nothing more than helping out the kids and seeing them grow up. It was my absolute dream to own this daycare until one day in July of 2022. A mother of one of the children in the daycare approached me and told me that me husband was doing inappropriate acts with her daughter. Without hesitation, I got in my car, drove to the hotel my husband James was at, walked in the room and shot him point blank in the neck and thigh.
Wow.
I wanted my daycare to be a place where kids could feel like they were safe, so I was going to do everything in my ability to keep them safe. My initial intention was just to paralyze him because I was so mad how he could do that to such innocent young children. I was arrested and sentenced to 4 years in prison for my acts. James would survive the wounds, but he was charged with over 30 criminal charges for what he had done.
Wow.
Follow for more stories.
That's deep. I don't even know what to say about that one.
Threw a house party, but no one there knew what had just happened minutes earlier inside of that very house. What happened will surprise you. My name is Tyler Hadley. I am a 17-year-old boy living in Port Lucie, Florida. Throughout my high school years, I had been arrested and sent to rehab multiple times. But high school would be over soon, and I couldn't wait. In my excitement for the end of school, I threw a party at my parents' home. I posted about it on Facebook and then went to the store to grab the party essentials. Around 11 at night, people started flooding in, and it was a packed party. Everyone was having a great time, and that's when I told my best friend to follow me. I led him to my parents' master bedroom and opened the door. Inside of the room were both of my parents, and they were dead. I bragged about killing them to my friend. You see, my parents were planning to send me off to rehab again, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So as my mom was turned around, I hit her in the head with the claw end of a hammer. Then my dad rushed in, and I hit him with the hammer as well. After they died, I cleaned up some of the blood, took their credit cards, and used it to buy all of the party supplies. Unfortunately, I didn't realize my friend was a snitch. He told police, and I was sentenced to life in prison.
Rehab as a teenager? Wow. How does that feel to not even trust your own child? Not even think that your own child would do something to you like that? That's crazy.
It's a normal morning for this family. Mom is watching the kids play outside, and Dad hops into his truck and off to work. But something is off, and you're about to find out what it is. 10 minutes later, the doorbell camera captures Dad pulling back into the driveway.
Yeah.
What was so important that he turned around and returned home?
Goodbye, kiss.
Damn.
Is that it?
That's it. Love you, bye.
Love you.
How sweet. The romantic gesture was made by Gabe Ely.
Gabe and his wife Tracy have been married for 10
That's
years.
crazy.
And in all that time,
you do something you do on the regular
every
and go
morning
viral.
he went to work, he'd kiss Tracy goodbye and say he loved her. Except this one morning when he just forgot.
I just kind of got distracted and I unloaded the truck and left, and then I got like 8-10 minutes down the road, and it just popped in my head that I didn't kiss her goodbye, and I turned around, came back.
What was your reaction when Gabe came back?
I was just shocked. I was, it's not like him not to do that. He does little things like that all the time. From the moment we've got together, we have always made a pact that we would kiss each other goodbye and never walk away mad, because you just never know what's going to happen.
Is that it?
That's it. Love you, bye.
Love you.
Wow. I know that didn't have anything to do with any true crime, but I found that was cool.
This girl unalived her little brother, then consumed his private parts. This is 5-year-old Maicon Rauch and his 18-year-old sister Karina, and they both live with their mother Daniela in Brazil. On April 4th of 2019, Daniela had to do some shopping, so she left Maicon back at home with Karina. Daniela returned home over an hour later, and for some reason she wasn't able to open the front door, just wouldn't open. Daniela had yelled for her children to come help open the door for her, but Karina yelled back that she couldn't open it for her. Daniela started to get worried, so she had contacted her brother-in-law to come break down the door. Once they both got inside the home, they were met with a horrific scene. Karina had unalived Maicon, partially decapitated him, and mutilated him. The family dog started to attack Karina, and she retaliated and bit the dog. Karina then started to attack the uncle by throwing things at him and hitting him. She even tried to flee the scene, but she was luckily caught. Once police had arrived and saw Maicon's body, they saw that his body was surrounded by black candles. That's when they discovered that Karina had cut and eaten some parts of Maicon's body. Karina was quickly arrested and taken to the police station. At first, Karina refused to speak, but later on, she confessed everything. She stated that she asked Maicon if he wanted to come in her room to play some games, and of course, Maicon agreed. Karina grabbed a pillow, pinned him down, and suffocated him. Karina then grabbed a knife and tried to remove his head. She had left Maicon partially decapitated. Karina then inserted the knife into his eyes and burned his feet with a lighter. She then removed his genitals and ate them. Karina was charged with aggravated homicide, attempted murder of her uncle, hiding a dead body, and biting the family dog. Karina was sent to a psychiatric hospital, and she continues to receive medical, social, and psychological care.
Man, that is crazy. This is why I say I be wondering what be going on in people's heads. Like, how do you miss those things? Like, there had to be signs, right? Had to be red flags, right? If I see one of my kids acting weird or out of the normal, oh, we got to check into this.
On TikTok, I made it seem like we were the perfect couple, but a few weeks later, he shot me in the head. My name is Ana Abulaban, and let me tell you my story. For the outside world, it seemed like we had the ideal relationship. We had a child together, and in 2020, my boyfriend Ali Abulaban and I became a huge success on the platform TikTok. On the app, we showed how much fun and happy we were together. However, in reality, our relationship was nothing more than toxic. We frequently argued, and my boyfriend often used violence. It couldn't go on like that, so I decided to break up with him. During the process of breaking up, I applied for a restraining order against him to get rid of him once and for all. However, one day, Ali decided to break into my new home. He destroyed equipment and installed a spying app on our child's iPad. That same day, he heard through the app that I and a close friend of mine were laughing together in my apartment. In a fit of rage, he decided to go to my apartment and tragically shot me and my friend dead.
Wow.
Not long after, Ali was arrested and prosecuted for his crimes.
Man, what about the kid, though? What happened to the kid? Man, it's crazy. You never know what go on behind them cameras, man.
This woman was stabbed over 45 times and partially decapitated, and she lived. Alison Botha was a young woman living in South Africa who was on a beach trip with her friends. Alison would take her friend home later that night and return home, where she would realize someone was in her parking spot. So she parked a little bit of a ways away when a man would break into her car and steal it while she was still inside. This man's name was Franz, and he would go on to pick up his friend Thenis. These two would then drive out to the middle of nowhere and begin to take advantage of Alison. They then would stab her in the chest over 30 times and the throat over 15 times. After that, they threw her onto the side of the road. Allison had been partially decapitated and her organs were beginning to fall out of her abdomen from the stab wounds. But Allison would get up, hold her intestines in place, and grab her head to put it in the correct position and move forward. She found her way to the main road where she would flag down a driver. This driver would take her to the hospital where the doctors would say they had never seen anything like this. But somehow, some way, after intensive surgery, Allison would survive. The police would then come visit her in the hospital where she would be able to identify the two monsters. She then would go on trial where she would testify against them and win. I go into way more detail on this case over on the Red app. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss this. It's an amazing, amazing story. So just go check it out because you're not going to want to miss it because...
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Either she's lucky or she covered by grace. I'm going to go with grace.
At just 8 years old, I weighed over 180 kilograms and became the most obese child in the world. At the end of this video, you will see my current photo. I am Jessica Leonard, born in Tennessee, United States. I was an only child, and I cried a lot from birth. My mother thought it was because I was hungry, so she fed me. Every time I cried, she would feed me. This led to devastating eating habits. I started showing signs of being overweight from my first year, and my addiction to food would only grow over time.
Wow.
My mother gave me potato chips for breakfast along with other unhealthy foods. By the age of 5, she used to order a family-sized pizza just for me. At that age, I was already drinking up to 5 liters of Coca-Cola daily. At the age of 7, I was consuming a diet of 10,000 calories a day and was addicted to junk food. I ate in a couple of days what other kids ate in months.
Wow.
My mother would buy me 15 Happy Meals from McDonald's, and I had unlimited access to sweets and chocolates. I once ate over 2 kilograms of chocolate in one day. By the time I was 8 years old, I weighed 180 kilograms, had trouble walking, and had difficulty moving in general. Walking was exhausting, so I preferred to sit all day. I remember one day I started having trouble breathing. I was taken to a children's hospital in Tennessee, and that's when Child Protective Services intervened. I was admitted to a clinic for people with obesity problems. I underwent an intense exercise and diet plan, which helped me lose over 100 kilograms. I had to undergo surgery to remove more than 10 kilograms of excess skin and also needed physical therapy to realign my bones.
Wow.
My mother felt a lot of guilt because she had made me addicted to food. So, she took parenting and nutrition courses to prevent this from happening to me again. This is how I look now. I have continued to struggle with food, and I have never been able to maintain a healthy diet for long. I am an example of how the habits our parents instill in us can haunt us for the rest of our lives. What do you think of my story?
I want to say crazy, but I say it so much. I gotta find some other way to describe it because it really is crazy. Daunting, if you will. But anyway, it's like, that's why I am like strict on my kids and how they eat. Because a lot of this food ain't even safe no more. So eating like how she was eating back then with the food that we got now is poison, pure poison.
What you got? How much they is?
These are 30, these are 20.
Oh, okay. Turn them around.
I give you a dildo, I give you 2 for 40.
For real?
Yeah, they real. I just stole them out of
Damn. He said, I just stole them out of, oh man. Honest salesman right there.
Urban number 1.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I killed my both kids.
I'm sorry?
I killed my both kids. They are died. I killed my both kids.
Ma'am, do you need the police?
She think her birthday.
Some police sent.
Ma'am, I'm not understanding what you're saying.
I'm saying I killed my both kids. They are dead.
She said she killed her both
trying to get into your
kids.
apartment?
No, I killed them.
She said she
Ma'am,
killed
do you
her
need the
both of her
police?
kids.
Yeah?
What's the address?
The phone number from, you know the address.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Taika.
What's going on there?
I killed them. I killed both of them.
You killed both of them?
Yeah, I killed my both kids.
Wow.
Did you kill something or did you
Lady,
break something?
she just told you.
I killed my kids, my children. I killed my children.
You killed your children?
Yeah, I killed them, both of them.
How did you do that, ma'am?
I don't know. I just killed them.
Lady, get the ambulance and stuff there.
How
Oh
old are your
my
children?
God.
3 and 6.
3 and what? Ma'am?
Yes?
Oh my God.
Well, how old are your children?
3 and 6. I killed them.
3 and 6?
I killed both of them. Hello?
Hello, ma'am?
Hello?
Ma'am?
Just send the
Hello?
police.
Yeah, I killed both of them. I told you.
Okay,
She trying to tell you.
Stay on the phone with me, okay?
Now I'm siding with
Okay.
her.
What did you kill your children with?
I killed with a...
What did you use? Did you use a gun? Did
Does
you
that
use
matter?
a knife?
No, it's a wire. I use a wire on their neck.
You used what, dear?
Wire on their
Wire
neck.
on
You
the
used
neck.
wire on their neck?
Yeah.
What kind of wire?
Oh my
I don't
God.
They are not doing anything. They are just blue and they are like, they are not taking any breath and they are, their heart is not beating. They
Okay, they're both blue?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. This lady, this dispatcher.
Stay on the phone with me, okay?
She must be in
What
her
is your
80s or
name? Can you
something.
spell me your first name?
Hey,
Saika
this is not the
Akhtar. My name is
60s.
Saika Akhtar.
Okay, spell me your first name.
Oh,
Saiqa.
oh my God.
S-A-I-Q-A?
I know this is a serious
that your
matter, but
first
this
name?
dispatcher.
Yes.
What is your last name?
My last name Akhtar. Akhter.
Okay. Are you at 3331 Esther's, number 2106?
Yes.
Where are your children now? What room are they in?
They are in my room.
They're in your bedroom?
Yeah.
Are they on the floor or on the bed?
On the bed. Both are on my bed.
Don't hang up, okay?
Okay. I know the police will come to pick me.
Okay, why did you do this?
They both are normal. They
You
are
can't make this
autistic.
stuff up, bro.
Both are autistic.
Both are what, dear?
Autistic. I don't want my kid to be like that.
They're both autistic?
I want normal kids.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, well,
Plot
just
twist.
stay with me and talk to me, okay?
Okay.
Where did you get the wire?
It's from my apartment somewhere.
Baby, I'm
First I tried to
hoping.
give them
Let me stop this.
the bathroom
stop this.
cleaner.
I'm hoping she dispatching the police as she's talking. I would hope. Because this is ridiculous.
Their mouth, but they don't bring it. I want them to bring it. They don't bring it. So there's a wire near. So I just grab their neck and then I try so many times and then they are no more.
Okay, are you and the children the only one in the house?
Yeah, my husband's in the office. I already called him.
You already called your husband? Is he at work?
Yeah, he's coming maybe.
Okay, just stay on the phone with me, okay?
Okay.
And your husband was at work when you called him, all right? Is that correct?
I just called him.
Okay, but he was at work, correct?
Yeah, maybe he's coming.
Okay, well, just stay with me, okay? What are you doing now?
I wash my hands.
You're washing your hands?
Yeah.
Why are you washing your hands?
It smells too much because of bathroom cleaner. It smells so much.
What's smelling?
Bathroom cleaner smells.
You're washing your hands with some type of bathroom cleaner?
Oh, the bathroom cleaner smells so much on my hands, so I just wash my hand with water.
Okay. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go to the living room. Can you take your phone with you?
Yeah, in the living room.
Are you in the living room right now?
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to sit down on the sofa and just stay with me, okay?
Okay. Are you sending someone?
I am, but I want you to stay with me, okay?
Okay.
Don't hang up. What happened? Why did you do that?
They are autistic. They are too much.
Both of them are autistic?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want my kid to be autistic. I killed both of them.
Both of them were okay, sweetie. Well, just stay with me, okay? Is the front door unlocked to where my officer can get in?
Turn on. I can open it.
Well, just unlock the door, okay?
Okay.
And then sit back down on the sofa and just talk to me, okay?
Okay.
Tell me what you're
That's
feeling.
crazy.
Nothing.
You're not feeling nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Are you sitting on the couch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro, you can hear her heart beating through the phone.
Can you do me a favor?
Wow.
What?
When I tell you to, I want you to step outside to meet with my officer, but I want you to stay put until I tell you, okay?
Where I have to stay? In the living room? Yeah, I see the police is already.
Okay, just hold on, okay? My officer may need you to step outside and talk to him.
I go outside?
Yeah. Is your phone a cordless phone?
Yes.
Okay. With the phone in your hand, I want you to walk outside and meet with my officer. But stay on the phone with me.
I'm coming. I just put... I'm coming.
Stay right there for me. Stay right there.
Okay.
Go ahead and put the phone down.
Okay.
Hey, go ahead. If you get back, have a seat right there. Right there.
That's sad. That is sad. It sounds like she unalived her kids because they were autistic and she didn't want them to be autistic. So seems like she got overwhelmed. That don't make it right though, but man, you know how hard it is for parents. I salute parents that's dealing with children with mental illnesses, man. I salute you because we, with what you would call normal kids, we don't know what it's like to have to deal with that. So I commend you. I commend all of y'all and I salute you because, dude, that had to be crazy to make that decision to do your children like that. Because, I mean, if you look at it both ways, you don't want your children to be autistic and in your mind, you feel like they're suffering to be normal and you wanted to end the suffering for them. Not like you didn't love your kids or didn't want your kids. You try to look at things positively, but it's hard to look at something like this positively. But how normal she was talking, like she was okay with what she did, like that don't sound sick to me. Sound like she made a conscious decision to do what she did. Is it right? No, but I'm not in her head. I'm not a judge, so can't judge her.
I was raped by 6 teenagers in the public toilet. They took my video and passed it on to me. Until my brother saw. I was only 11 years old at the time. Criminals don't even go to prison. I will tell you my story. But we have to persevere until the end. I am a girl born in Barcelona. I still remember the day of November 16th, 2022. I go shopping at the mall. 6 teenagers approached me. Wanna have sex with me? I told them I was 11 years old. I am younger than them. I refused to keep moving forward. They followed me to the mall. One of them pulled out a knife and threatened to go to the restroom. They take turns filming everything. And then I lay alone on the floor. I sought help from a security guard. But he looked at me but ignored me. I feel ashamed at home. I didn't tell anyone. I've been silent for weeks now. But one day, my brother saw this video. Very uncomfortable. Because the author. They put it online. I explained to him all the horror I had experienced. He is very understanding. Reported to the police. I only remember the attacker. 5 out of 6 people will not be sentenced. 3 of them will not even be prosecuted.
That's crazy.
Because I'm not even 14 years old.
What? So you gotta be 14 years old for them to get prosecuted? That's crazy, man. Man. Rest in peace to that little girl.
The story I'm about to tell is a true account of a young woman who had an awfully close encounter with an infamous serial killer. So according to Felicity Nightingale, she began hitchhiking when she was around 20 years old. Hitching rides had been a necessity for her during one summer in the late 70s. She'd been working in mid-Wales and this was the easiest way for her to get around, particularly as she did not own a car. In fact, Felicity recalls catching rides being a fun adventure. Drivers were often kind to her, offering up cups of tea and sandwiches on their long journeys together. But that was until one gloomy afternoon in April of the year 1980. A friendly lorry driver had dropped 22-year-old Felicity at a service station somewhere along the M5. She was needing to find another driver that was heading towards her home in Weymouth on the south coast of England. She thanked the lorry driver and then began looking for a spot by the slip road to try and hitch a lift from. As Felicity looked around, she noticed a blue van parked adjacent to the service station exit. She then noticed a man who was leaning up against the vehicle. As they locked eyes, he began walking towards her. He was wearing a woolen jumper and had dark, curly hair. The man asked her if she wanted a lift. This interaction caught her completely off guard, and so without a second thought, she told the man where she was going. He said, "I'll give you a ride," and then told her to throw her rucksack into the back seat of the van and get into the passenger seat next to him. Felicity responded by saying that she would much prefer to have her bag with her in the front, but he insisted it should go in the back and began to get really angry when she disagreed with him again. All of a sudden, his mood seemed to change. He asked Felicity if she would join him for a cup of tea in the service station, and not wanting to make him any more angry, she agreed.
What?
Felicity later described this man as volcanic. He seemed to get irritated by a lot of what she said. For instance, when they spoke about her hitchhiking habit, the man erupted with anger, stating that her family obviously didn't care about her welfare. Not wanting to upset him more by refusing his ride, she jumped back into his van after they'd had tea together. The man kept saying that it was far too late for them to travel. He insisted that it would be no trouble for her to come and stay the night with his family in Tewkesbury. In fact, his wife would be delighted. He then started driving the wrong way, claiming that in order to get to Weymouth you had to drive through Tewkesbury, which wasn't the case at all. Then, out of nowhere, the man told Felicity that he had to pop in to see a friend who lived nearby. He pulled up on the side of the road and leaned over towards Felicity. She later said that in that moment, he looked so cross that she was convinced he was going to hit her. She then opened the van door, slid out of her seat onto the side of the road before the man pulled off and sped away. Wow. She didn't dare wait for the man. Almost immediately, a lorry driver spotted her on the side of the motorway and offered her a lift back to the service station. She then hitched a ride all the way to Weymouth, arriving home in the dead of night. Felicity always thought this encounter was odd, but she didn't really think much more of it. That was until almost 14 years later when she spotted a photograph of this same man on the front page of the Sunday paper. Fred West. This image of him had been taken back in the 1980s.
I heard of
it was now 1994, and he and his wife Rosemary had just been convicted with taking the lives of 12 young women, and this included some of their own children. It turns out that back on that gloomy April day in 1980, Felicity narrowly escaped the clutches of two of the most vile individuals that England ever saw.
That's wild right there. But I've heard of that story before, a long time ago. But yeah, she's a lucky woman, I tell you that much. But hey, if you like what you saw, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Head on over to the Discord and join because it's free. Send me videos that you want to see me react to. But until next time, folks.